To understand Baldwin IV, we first need a quick background on the Kingdom of Jerusalem. This kingdom was established after the First Crusade in 1099, a military expedition by Christian forces to capture Jerusalem from Muslim control. By the time Baldwin IV came to the throne, Jerusalem was a small but strategically important kingdom surrounded by much larger Muslim states. Baldwin IV was born in 1161 to King Amalric I of Jerusalem. From a young age, Baldwin showed promise. He was intelligent, strong-willed, and had a natural ability for leadership. However, when he was around 9 years old, his tutor noticed something troubling. Baldwin did not feel pain in his right arm when pinched. This was an early sign of leprosy, a disease that was highly feared in the medieval world because it was incurable and often led to a slow, painful death. Despite his illness, Baldwin was crowned king at just 13 years old after his father died. Being a young king with leprosy in such a vulnerable kingdom might have seemed like a recipe for disaster, but Baldwin proved to be a capable and determined leader. He refused to let his illness define him or stop him from ruling. Baldwin surrounded himself with loyal and skilled advisors, like his mother, Agnes of Courtenay, and his trusted knights, who supported him in his duties. At the time of Baldwin's reign, the most significant threat to the Kingdom of Jerusalem was Saladin, the Sultan of Egypt and Syria. Saladin was a brilliant military commander and a unifying force for the Muslim world. He was determined to recapture Jerusalem and other Crusader-held territories. Baldwin IV and Saladin were destined to clash, and their battles would become legendary. One of Baldwin IV's most famous military victories came early in his reign at the Battle of Montgisar in 1177. Saladin launched a massive invasion of the Kingdom of Jerusalem, confident that the young king and his weakened forces would be an easy target. Saladin's army was large and well-equipped, and it seemed like Jerusalem might fall. However, Baldwin, despite his illness, led his knights into battle. With only a small force, Baldwin managed to surprise Saladin's larger army near Montgisard, just south of Jerusalem. The battle was intense, but Baldwin fought bravely, even riding into combat on horseback. His forces managed to rout Saladin's army, achieving a stunning victory. This triumph not only boosted the morale of the Crusaders, but also established Baldwin's reputation as a capable and fearless leader. Despite the victory at Montgisar, the threat from Saladin was far from over. Baldwin's reign was marked by a series of skirmishes and battles. Baldwin's health was deteriorating, and as his leprosy progressed, it became harder for him to lead his troops personally. Nonetheless, he continued to strategize and direct his forces from his capital, Jerusalem. One of the significant clashes during Baldwin's reign was the Battle of Cresson. In this battle, a small force of Templars and Hospitallers, two military orders of knights, faced a much larger Muslim force. The Christian knights were defeated, and this loss signaled the growing strength of Saladin and the vulnerability of the Crusader states. By the mid-1180s, Baldwin's health was in serious decline. His leprosy had worsened to the point that he was almost blind and could no longer walk unaided. Recognizing his own limitations, Baldwin appointed his sister Sibylla's son, his nephew Baldwin V, as co-king to ensure the continuity of the kingdom. Baldwin VI's final years were marked by internal political struggles within his kingdom, as various factions vied for power, knowing the king could not live much longer. In 1187, shortly after Baldwin's death, Saladin finally managed to achieve his great victory over the Crusader forces at the Battle of Hattin. The Crusader army was defeated, and Saladin soon captured Jerusalem. Although Baldwin IV did not live to see these events, his efforts had delayed Saladin's conquest and bought precious time for the Kingdom of Jerusalem. Baldwin IV passed away in 1185, leaving behind a kingdom that was struggling to survive. Despite his illness, he had managed to hold off one of the greatest military leaders of his time. Baldwin's courage, determination, and tactical acumen made him a legendary figure in Crusader history. His story is a powerful reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds and personal suffering, one can still leave a lasting impact on the world. Baldwin IV's life, is a tale of a young king who, against all odds, became a symbol of resilience and bravery in one of the most challenging periods of medieval history. His battles, both against his disease and the enemies of his kingdom, are a testament to the strength of the human spirit